Welcome to the 3Haunted podcast, where we bring you all things horror, supernatural, folklore, mythology, and all things that go bump in the night.
What's up, everybody? This is your co-host, Ashley Lunar Goddess, Gorilla Girl filmmaker and horror-loving cinephile. I'm just your average podcast-producing badass.
And I'm John Thomas. If it's haunted, cursed, or just plain weird, I'm into it. From paranormal encounters to horror movie deep dives, urban legends, cryptids, count me in.
I'm BJ Sewura, an aspiring paranormal musician who plays live for the dead because the living just doesn't want to hear me.
What's up, ghouls, gals, and meta pals? In today's episode, we're stepping into the shadows and discussing the darker side of the metaphysical. Joining us in this discussion is special returning guest, Tamoah Burton. Welcome back, Tamoah.
Thank you so much. Cool to be back.
I'm happy to have you back. I was telling you this before we hit record that after our previous recording session with you, I just had such a great time, and you have really great energy about you and a way of discussing things that it was just like, let's just get her back on. I don't care what she wants to talk about. Let's just do it. We could talk about the weather. I don't
Okay.
But we're not talking about the weather. We are talking about the darker side of the metaphysical world, which, to be honest, 6 seasons in, we haven't really delved into that topic of, we always talk about the lighter side of the metaphysical, but there are dangers and there are things that occur. So I love that you came to me with that topic and said, hey, let's talk about this, because not a lot of people want to approach that. So,
And not a lot of people want to know about it because it's just like, if I don't talk about it, it doesn't exist.
it's very true. So when we say the darker side of the metaphysical, what are we referring to?
Let's start there, that there is so much more out there than our physical eyes can see, right? My very first encounter, if you want to hear a little story.
I love your stories.
Now let's rewind back to 1996. My first husband is from the Maldivian Islands. So we happened to be there. My baby daughter was just born. I think she was like 3 months old, and we went to visit the family. And he came one evening and said, hey, my friend is not feeling well. What do you think? Could you go and check him out with your feet reflexology or whatever else you might help him with? So I went over, and there was this young man in bed and really not looking good. So I checked on his feet and I asked him, hey, do you happen to pee red? He says, yes, I do. I said, well, I would highly suggest you go to see a doctor or you go to the hospital the next morning. Now, mind you, it's islands, right? Going to a doctor or a hospital is not just a quick fix. You got to take a boat or something to get to Male, which is the capital. So anyhow, I did whatever I could to help him relax in his agony and stuff, and I left again. And in the middle of the night, my then husband came again, rushing into the room, says, hey, you gotta come. I'm sure you want to see this. I called my grandpa. And his grandpa used to be the so-called medicine man of the island. So here I am, and now this room was filled with people. I mean, people in terms of his friends. Everybody was sitting around, standing around, and there was this young man still in bed, and grandpa was sitting on the side of the bed and murmuring something. And I was like, what's going on here? And my then husband said, when you left, he had an attack, like he could not sleep, not breathe. And everybody could see the print of a hand on his throat. And I'm like, huh? So mind you, I'm very young at that time, and I do not want to know anything about the dark side, right? So I'm like, what? He says, yeah, and it's everybody who was here then saw that. It's not that just one person is telling stories. We all saw an invisible hand choking him. So I'm like, holy, okay. So, and I was like, what is your grandpa doing? And in the meantime, it was like, psst, grandpa wanted to have his silence. So we stopped talking. And Grandpa is there doing whatever. I think he was saying prayers, and all of a sudden he took a knife out of his like a dagger. How you say that in English? Dagger. He took a thing like that, and the bed frame was wooden, right? And he put that in the frame, and he says, "I got him. He's got to be here. This knife has to stay here till what did he say? The moon is in Zenite, and then this being will be gone where it has to go." So here I am, like, somebody needs to explain. I don't get it. What's happening here? So, okay. So Grandpa explained later that while I was in that room, my energy did not allow this dark energy to do whatever it wanted. That the moment I left, it kind of attacked even stronger. And I said, so I still don't get it. What are we talking about? So it turns out that another young man was very jealous of this young man and went to see somebody who did some dark stuff to make him very sick. Possible, maybe he would have died. Who knows? So for me, having witnessed something like this for the very first time and having a baby a few houses down the road, I said, this is it. I left the very next day. I said, I don't want to have anything to do with this. This is too creepy. So we left. We packed up. We left the next day. And in the many, many decades since, in the beginning, I was just like, so is that a thing? Does that really exist? Because growing up in a very Catholic surrounding in tiny Switzerland, right? That was not talked about. And if somebody would talk about it, it was like, yeah, if you don't believe in it, that's not happening. This only happens if you believe in it. So I was just thinking, wow, that was very real. And this young man, the very next day, he was absolutely fine. He had nothing. I saw him before we left. He was like a new human. So eventually, with time, I realized that there is, like I said in the beginning, there's so much more than the physical eyes can see for the good, but also for the bad. So it still took a while till I consciously decided, okay, let's go in and see what I can do consciously to help people, right? I mean, people might have something happening to them not knowingly because they also don't believe in stuff like this, and yet it works on them. And then there are other people who are very aware that something is happening to them from this kind of dark side.
What was it about the dagger that helped kind of bind the spirit to the bed until, the right alignment occurred?
I honestly don't know. I think that was his way of working with dark spirits, and just, yeah. I did not get an answer from him. I think that was just his way of working. But I remember also when the same baby girl, my daughter, died, that the very next day after the whole drama happened, Grandpa called. They didn't know. Nobody had told them yet what had happened. And he called and said, I know what happened, and I tried to help. And in my endeavor to help that this will not happen, the roof blew off his house. I mean, the houses in Maldives are a little bit different than here, but the roof kind of blew off the house. That's how strong Grandpa was actually with his powers. And he was blind after that for a few days. He had to recoup his energy and all, right? So I was blown away once more about his capabilities of knowing what happened around the globe in our corner of Switzerland where we used to live back at the time. And he amazed me quite a few times.
Did you ever have an opportunity to kind of learn more from him or study with him?
No, unfortunately not. We didn't go to the Maldivian Islands that often due to, back at the time, financial reasons. And and eventually he died, right? So,
but I love that you were inspired not to run away from it, or like you said at the beginning, turn away and pretend it didn't exist. In the moment, you took your child away, right? Which makes sense, but you were inspired by seeing that it's real and that you want to help other people, when they encounter that.
Yes. But when I left the next day, it was to protect my child. I didn't want to be in energies like that, like, woo. But eventually, after the years following, I also realized the more your clairs develop, the more you know, you see, you feel, whatever clair you do have, and sometimes people have them all, the more you don't need explanations. You do not need anybody to explain something or show or talk about it. You just tap into the metaphysical realm and you see for yourself. And I'm like, I always say, there's nothing in TV that can shock me. And just some things, I'm like, really, the reality is way worse than that. Or, no, I have seen it all.
Do they, TV shows or movies, do they get it right when it comes to their representation of the metaphysical and weird things that happen? Or is it all just crazy?
How shall I say? I'm not somebody who watches TV that often because I kind of don't need it. But the few things that I have watched, I always think, oh, whoever wrote the script must be a clairvoyant. Must have some clairs working to be able to write that down. Yeah.
We watch a lot of horror amongst us three, and it is interesting because I feel like we've all kind of said that, where you watch a movie and it's like, oh, this is entertainment, but there's just one little thing that you're like, somebody in that screenwriting room, they're connected more than they're probably admitting.
And talking of horror, like, I know of a case where there was a boy in puberty and he started to lose weight, and doctors didn't know what's wrong with this boy. They just knew he's going to die eventually because something is so terribly wrong, but all the tests and everything, we do not know. And then they always call it autoimmune disease, right? So the mother brought this young man to some guy who was inventing devices to be able to see energy. And this guy asked this boy, do you happen to watch horror movies? And he says, yeah, I love it. And he says, your energy field is full of the energy of what you're keeping on watching. And he's like, what? So they made a deal. The guy told him, back in the days, we still had DVDs, right? He says, how about you bring me all your DVDs? I keep it here for a month. And you promise me you're not going to watch one horror movie. And we see how you're doing afterwards. And then you can decide if you want to have these DVDs back or not. So they did the deal, and this guy also worked with him on the energetic level and the metaphysical level. And after a month, this boy was feeling so much better. He put on weight again, and he got strength again. And this showed him the influence that certain energies can have. And his case was extreme, but he decided not to get the DVDs back. And yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with any of that, because I know some people don't like when that concept gets broached, that like what we consume can affect us. But I think that there are certain individuals, potentially this boy, that their energy vibrates very quickly to the other, almost like they're the receiving end of the tuning fork. And so if they are consuming certain things that are at different vibrations, it might influence their own vibration and allow that. But I don't know.
It might be karmic. Who knows? I just know anything we consume is food for us. We drink and we eat. We know that. But we hear things, we see things, we read things. All of that is food for some level of us, right? So you want to make sure that what you hear or what you're listening to is something that is feeding you well. Same thing, what your eyes are consuming. You want to make sure that is something that is feeding you well. Or if you feel like I gotta have a horror, then make sure the balance is there and not just horror, right? That it's just,
See, guys, this is why I do horror and rom-coms.
I was going to say, like, sometimes we'll watch like certain horror movies and then we're like, oh, we need something Disney or something, just to kind of even it out, balance it out, something funny or even
Yeah.
action, something like that. But it also kind of reminds me, Ashley, of you, how you kind of don't really want to watch like Exorcist movies,
Yeah.
which makes sense,
Yeah, there's certain
you
movies
know?
I don't watch at home typically, and that's usually like intense possession movies. If I am going to watch them for like a podcast episode or something, I tend to watch them somewhere else, not in my home.
Makes sense.
And maybe there is a part of me that is superstitious enough that I just know what happens to my energy when I watch those. And I do feel like my level of fear does kind of get into my energy in a way that I'm like, ooh, I might draw something and I don't mean to. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do it out in the wild where there's a lot more like distracting energy. And if I do draw something and it's at the coffee shop and not my home.
But you do know that you attract what you're vibrating, right? So let's
Yes,
say
I know.
you watch a horror movie like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. So eventually your vibration kind of is there, right? So you might attract whatever is in the metaphysical realm that feels, oh, I like that vibration. Let's go and just, live rent free.
Should we like cleanse our energy a little bit after that, especially if we're starting to feel kind of
100%, 100%, 1,000%, a million percent. Like another example. I had a mother reaching out saying, "Hey, can you please tune into my daughter? She is just something is wrong. We don't know what, but something is weird." So I tuned in and I thought, "What?" So I got in touch with her and I said, "You have her watch with you horror movies?" And she says, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Well, I just checked your kid." And I said, "But she likes to watch it with me." I said, "But she's too young. She cannot process that." Right? So I said, it makes no sense if I go in and I cleanse now your daughter out, if tomorrow night she sits with you again and watches a movie like that. So you got to decide. And yeah, it has an effect. It has an effect.
I think that's where self awareness is super important too, knowing which kind of, because it's not just horror films. There's all sorts of films that can do a lot to our psyche and our energy. Horror film tends to be a little bit more on the darker side just by nature. But I think knowing the subgenres, like for me saying, hey, I don't really do the possession movies because they do have that effect on me. Whereas I can watch creature films, vampire films, and it's like watching a fantasy film. So I think it really is self-awareness. And like you said, knowing like her daughter not necessarily being able to process it, it's knowing what you can process, what can you tolerate. I can't process and tolerate zombie movies. So
Yeah, know your limits or capabilities. And
yeah.
the thing is, the question was, should we cleanse energetically? You should do that even if you do not watch movies like that, because you're out and about between people. You go into events, God knows who is all there that you do not see, right? And some of these creatures, they have the capability to copy themselves or split themselves. Now you have 1 or 2 or 3 of those coming home with you and you don't even know about it. And you're like, why do I feel so weird? Something is off. Ugh. But who goes in and thinks, oh, my energy field just got hijacked? Who does that? Not many. Unless you know about it, then you first of all, you protect yourself already before you go there. Plus on top, when you are back or before you, like Ashley, before you come home with stuff, you cleanse yourself before you go through the door. Like in my house, to be honest, I have my cleansing mechanism on my doors. I have several doors around the house that, because we are human, we might forget stuff. That if I come back from an event or something and I forget to cleanse myself, that at least the moment I come through the door, whatever I installed there is going to work and I can come in and not, what shall I say? What's the word? Infest the house, right? And if you are several people living together, it's the same thing. Who goes where? Sometimes we're not doing everything together. So somebody goes there, somebody goes there. Maybe you have kids, they're involved in events. So a lot of energy that is coming home that is not being cleansed if you're not aware of it.
Now, being that you work with people to help them when they do have these dark attachments, have you found a commonality in terms of the type of entities that tend to attach to people, or is it just a wide variety?
It's the whole concert. The thing is, the thing is also like, like attracts like. So if you are out and about and you are really mad about something, it is 99.999% possible or probable that you come home with some entities in that vibration that just feel, oh, look who's walking around here. Oh, you know what? I've been lonely for too long. Here, let me attach so I can feed off this energy as well, right? And now you're home and you think, my God, I went for a drive or I went for a walk and now I'm even more mad than I was when I left. Why? So there you have an explanation as of why. Or if you go out and you're super sad or something, you attract beings that are stuck for whatever reason, that are in that energy. And now you have even stuff that is not yours. And there's always, I like to teach a very simple thing. Like when you are in an emotion, no matter which one it is, the first question to ask yourself or ask into your system, is it mine? And look what's coming up in the first split second. If it's a no, you got stuff on you that is not yours. And if it's a yes, go and find somebody to get it out of your system.
I feel like I struggle with that a lot in my life, where I'm just an empath, and so I feel like I'm absorbing a lot of people's energy, and it's exhausting sometimes, and
It
so
kills energy.
and I just feel exhausted and tired, and then I'm like, why am I crying and I'm not even sad? Like, what is going on with me? Like, chill out, bro. Like, what is your deal?
Yeah.
So how do we cleanse ourselves? Does it depend on what it is?
Yes. How shall I explain that? There's some things that is easy peasy. Just imagine you're showering, right? Just if you close your eyes, you imagine you're under the shower and there's cleansing. Instead of water, you have like cleansing, or like standing under the waterfall. I love that one. Imagine you're out in nature, you stand under the waterfall, and it's a cleansing, purifying energy that cleanses your auric or we have many energy fields, not just one, right? That cleanses your energy fields out. And that can be already the trick for many things. But other stuff can be very clingy and very they like to play hide and seek. Some things are like, make you believe I'm gone, but I'm actually not. I'm still there, but you have no idea. So you could also, let's take the waterfall again, while you stand under the waterfall, just command. You not just ask nicely, please leave me. No, command. You are the master. You're saying, I am not willing to have any low vibrational energy in my field. Wherever you're hiding, go now. For instance, that is one possibility. But when I work with people and I go in with a specific theme, then I can be catapulted into different dimensions that they are connected to you via portals. So as long as you do the thing and you think they're gone now, but the portal is still open, they still come back and say, boo boo, I tricked you. Or the thing with the mirrors, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but mirrors are portals. They can. So hang up, if you have a mirror in a bedroom, which is bad, hang up a towel or a sheet or something while you sleep.
See, this is why I don't like the hotel rooms with the mirrors that face the bed. I'm like, what is happening here?
Exactly.
I don't like
It's
that.
creepy as hell. Yep, that's why I have a shirt covering the one that I'm in front of right now. In one of my old apartments, my closet was nothing but mirrors. It was sliding doors and it was mirrors.
I don't like
I
this.
didn't know how to cover that. No, that was not fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's things that people think now they're totally nuts and crazy, right? But we're not. We're just the ones who can see behind, right? So
Now, you know, we oftentimes hear stories about people that, and from people that we know, and sometimes just, you know, through the grapevine of people that claim that they're entities that just stay attached to them and drawn to them throughout their entire life, like the same entity or the energy feels the same. And, you know, it starts from childhood and on. Have you encountered that? And is there anything you know more about that?
well, there are several ways why entities stay attached to us. One thing is also, where do you live? Do you have your dwelling or your bed or your couch or whatever on a geopathological disturbance zone? You know what I'm talking about? Because dark entities or low vibrational entities, they're like living there. They are just like drawn to these crossings. Like, have you ever heard of the Curry Line and maybe
Oh, like the ley lines?
no, not ley lines.
Okay.
Now those words I do not know in English. That's the thing. I don't know how to explain.
That's okay.
Like there are several lines over the planet, and some are crossing. Now, if you happen to have your bed on a crossing, it sucks energy out of you, right? And entities or low vibrational beings, they are like attracted to these crossings. So they are like earthbound to these things. So if I go and I cleanse a house, for instance, it's not just going and smudging, which is nice and good, but it's usually not enough depending on what's in that house. So you got to go and check, okay, where is a crossing or where is another thing where it's like a natural attraction for this, let's call them beings. So you can go in and cleanse a house 1,000,000 times. If you do not look into that, the being is still there. And if you keep on living in the same house, you have the same neighbor all your life, right? That you might know or not know about. It might have a health effect on you, a negative one. So, yeah, there's something to think about. And people who claim they have the same entity with them all their life, I so far have not worked with somebody like that. Usually the people that I work with, they know nothing about what's in their energy field. And when we go in and discover stuff, they're like, holy, that explains a lot, right? Now I get it, why this and why that. But each person that I work with like that it's always a different, I could write books and each book would be totally different. It's never the same scenario or the same reasons or, yeah.
Is it possible that these darker entities are different entities, but sometimes present as like the same form or the same visual kind of presentation?
Well, a thing with the love and light scene out there, right? Low vibrational entities that can take any form they want. Like, I like to explain it with the moth. The moth goes into the light and dies because she did. Because the light was fake. It was not the real light source, right? The same is if you don't have your clears developed that you actually do know what you're doing. If you start working in the spiritual field, you might think, oh, that's Archangel Michael, or that's God knows whom, or that's whoever. But actually, it's just low vibrational beings in disguise. And that's a trap that many, many, many fall into.
I feel like that's another danger of the metaphysical, is that there are people out there that have gifts and they're just maybe using them improperly, or right, they're thinking one thing but they're mistaking it just because maybe I don't know if there's a school to get to these levels of understanding, but
exercise, experience, and not taking light for light. Just don't trust anything till you are 100% sure. Because anyone who tells me they're a channeler, I'm like, yeah, get away from me. It's like, oh, you're channeling Archangel God knows whom? Yeah, sure. I'm so critical in the meantime that I'm like, okay.
I mean, I like that you've got this healthy level of skepticism. You're not just taking everything as fact. Because I think we talked about that when you were on about discernment. So,
Yeah, I mean, you do take, how shall I say, you believe everything in the beginning when you have no reason to not trust the person. A person might look trustworthy and they even believe what they're doing is what they're saying because they did not see behind the veil, right? So when you start discerning or when you start asking certain questions or when you realize, oh, this is a behavior from this being that is demanding, then you know already that's not the right source. If you are channeling a being and that being tells you to do ABC, then you know this is not the correct line. You're never being told what to do. You're never being asked to do something when you're connected to the correct source. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're just guided. You're given advice.
You're always giving the choice. Nobody from the creator Suyan, let's say, will tell you what to do. They might give you inputs, they might give you information, they might guide you through certain things, but at the end of the day you always have the choice. You always have the what's the word, the free will, let's say, right? It's not like some people come and say, oh, I had this epiphany, or I think I was in touch with whatever, many angels and whoever we have out there. And I have been told to do this and this and this. And I'm like, so how does that feel for you to do this and this and this? Well, I'm not sure. It feels a bit weird and la la la. I'm like, so what happens if you don't do this and this and this? And then they realize they're kind of almost feeling trapped. So when I work with clients, I want to make sure that the information that comes through is never something in terms of do XYZ to achieve ABC. It is always showing you what there needs to be done personal development wise so you can move on. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why certain things are as they are, and you cannot jump over them or you cannot just swim through it. It's always a process of learning yourself better, or stuff that is stuck in your subconscious that needs to be looked at, because very often our biography gives us a lot of reasons why shit hits the fan at some point in life, right? Then we have the influence of the ancestors, then we have the influence of karmic stuff, then we have the influence of soul contracts, then we have the influence of trapped soul fragments, for instance. Now, if we get it all, if we look on all the levels and we do whatever needs to be done, then all of a sudden that question that you used to have once is no longer a question, because now you know what you're supposed to do or what you want to do. You see the difference?
Are sometimes attachments part of the contract, or is that
Yeah.
just separate from it? So bad attachments, it's part of it.
We agreed to so many soul contracts. It's just like, I don't know how many I I got rid of it's so far in my own life, and I'm like, there's still a few around. So yeah, it's amazing what we agreed on once upon a life.
our soul contracts are like books and books and books.
Yeah. And some soul contracts, you cannot just go and delete them because certain beings say, no, we agreed on that. I want it. So then you got to go in and do a deal, right? Got to go in and negotiate.
We've kind of glazed over on different topics over the past like 6 seasons of people, not just dark like entities that, were never necessarily human, but people that are able to impact, whether it be via curse or hex or energy draining or psychic attacks. And so for me, I've always kind of wondered, how is it a human is able to impact another human like that, especially when they're not aware, when there isn't like a consent occurring?
If you think of every human is vibration, is a frequency, right? So now, let's say you have a neighbor who is totally jealous of, I don't know, your flowers, let's say. So this jealousy is already an energy that impacts you. Now, if you are a person that never cleanses yourself energetically, so that constant jealousy energy directed towards you starts piling up. Now, if you are a person that is aware, you can shield yourself, right? And you do your energy cleanses and stuff. But who is that? That's the minority of people on this planet Earth. So now you're surrounded. Now you have this neighbor who is jealous. Then you have a distant relative who maybe hates the guts out of you, but for whatever reason, whatever happened, that is a constant negative energy. That already is kind of black magic, if you want to call it like this, but not a conscious done one. Right? So every impact, or let's say every thought somebody has about you has an impact on you. Now, if somebody knows how to work with that and consciously wants to manipulate you, you can tell, I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it, and yet it has an impact on you because they know what they're doing. And so that's what I'm saying. Cleansing yourself energetically should be mandatory, should be a law. So that whatever starts maybe small will be washed off immediately.
Is there a way to, because cleansing kind of deals with it after the fact, right? Or during, but like, is there a way to proactively guard ourselves from that kind of stuff? Or is it like, hey, you're operating in the world, your energy is going to take those hits. You just got to stay good with your spiritual hygiene.
Well, if you are a person who has a daily ritual for yourself, like you go and meditate for 5 or 10 minutes, it doesn't need to be very long, and you consciously want to elevate your vibration. One thing is also like, think of something that fills you with joy or laughter. That already elevates your energy. And if you can keep your energy on that level, it is so much harder for whomever wants to harm you on the energy level, right? But if you are, full of emotions and up and down and not looking after yourself energetically, blah, 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 then you are like an easy target. But if you do best daily, like I always tell my clients, start your day with breathing exercises like pranayama, any of the many kinds out there. So you already relax your nervous system and you start your day relaxed. And in the same time, ask your system, what color do we need today? Because color is frequency. Oh, it's yellow. Okay, so just see yourself in a yellow bubble and go about your day. Same thing in the evening. You do again 3 minutes pranayama. And you ask, what do I need for tonight to be protected from any, whatever is out there that I know or don't know? Oh, it's blue. Okay, you see yourself wrapped in blue and you go in and you sleep. That's something very easy, not complicated. And in the worst case, in the rare case that no color should pop up, just take the rainbow. You have all the colors in there.
I love that. Just surround yourself in rainbow.
Yep.
It definitely is a challenge. And, I try not to get political on 3Haunted, but times are hard right now. And that can hurt the heart. It can hurt the energy. I think it leaves us a little bit more susceptible to those negative energy attacks and those kind of darker vibration entities kind of out there looking for opportunity. And so I'm always open to any suggestions on how to elevate to kind of, especially during really hard times, keep vibrating more. I mean, I'm not going to say we can always vibrate high all the time, but just like try and balance towards the high a little bit more than the other side.
Well, if we would take the example of the horror movies, which is an energy that brings emotional frequencies up that you actually don't want to have because you might attract equal frequencies. The opposite is watching comedy. laughing. Something that brings you really, I mean, there's so much bullshit comedy out there, but I mean, really something that you really have to laugh out loud because it's really so funny. That immediately brings your energy up, right? So in these times, you want to surround yourself with real comedy. And yeah, I always do this movement. Yeah, because you bring your energy up with laughter. And there is a saying that laughter is the best medicine. And another one is gratefulness, right? If you want to start a journal, what am I grateful for today? So you focus on the few things that day that were grateful, and you blend out the bullshit that is happening, right? And concentrate on grateful energy and let that elevate your frequency. So laughing, thinking of something that fills you with joy and gratefulness. Those are three energies that fill you up with not only fill you up, they eventually also strengthen your nervous system in a way that you can deal with certain things in a different way and not feel like a victim or not feel like it takes me down. Now I'm helpless. Oh, I want to go and kill, or I want to go and yell, or I want to. Then you are in these dark energies that are not helping at all. Right? It's not the solution. But laughing, gratefulness, joy. And yeah, and it can be something simple. If you take just the flower and you look at the beauty and the extreme geometry of a flower, you just like this awe feeling already also brings up something that is like a protective shield. When you are in this laughing mode or this gratitude mode or this joyful mode, you are naturally protected. I had once a teacher saying, if you would see what spirit does when you only say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, they all freak out. It's just a beautiful, great energy that you are creating in your own energy field by just saying thank you. I mean, if you know Ho'oponopono, you could say those phrases. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And if you do not, just say thank you. Just the last sentence of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you do not know what to think, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you do not know what to be thankful for, who cares? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? So, as an antidote to bring you out of heaviness.
I'm definitely a feeler, and so I think about what we're feeling. Oftentimes, when we are saying thank you and we're feeling gratitude, it is an inhale, right? We are inhaling the lightness. It's filling ourselves with this light of thank you, and I love it because it's the inhale and the exhale together. So it really is that gratitude is a feeling of like that yin and yang, right? We're inhaling that I feel light, but we're exhaling that thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And also, if it's a person who does not have any clears developed, but you're like, oh my God, I don't want to have any dark energy around me. Just imagine you have love bombs you're throwing around you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Here, I'm just throwing love bombs all over me, filling up my house with love bombs. So
I'm just gonna start walking around. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And just do it in your mind, of course. People might look weird.
Oh, I dance at the gym. I sing in public. Like I'm so used to people looking at me awkwardly. It's all good. We're just gonna add that to the repertoire of like awkwardness.
Absolutely.
Since Ashley, you said you didn't want to be political, you can think of certain people and just think, here, you need a love bomb. You need a love bomb. You need 10 love bombs. I'm just throwing love bombs at you, right? And you're just like
love Adam.
You can, or if you cross somebody on the road thinking, oh my God, that's a shitty energy, or that is like, ooh, something is not good with this person, just throw a love bomb.
Sometimes you just want to send those nuclear love bombs of
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go
get your
ahead.
shit together.
Absolutely. And when you were saying, if you don't know what to be thankful for, just say thank you. Every morning, and I try, and I know it doesn't happen all the time, but I try to think of things to be grateful or thankful for. And the main one is I'm grateful I got to wake up. I mean, it may be a shitty day, but I'm thankful I get to wake up and have that shitty day. So
I'd have that shitty day.
But the nice thing is, the moment you start to be really consciously grateful every day on a regular basis, you start to have more and more things in your life to be grateful for.
absolutely.
I mean, you can be grateful for simple things like, oh, I got curtains on my window. Oh, I don't have curtains on the window. That's why I have a clear view to see what's outside. Or I'm grateful for the hair I'm having on my head. Or I'm grateful for the headphones. Stuff that is obvious that you have around. Just be grateful for what you're seeing, and eventually this picture widens, right?
I just saw a photo because I told the guys I train my social media algorithm to show me like uplifting things. So it just popped up in my feed today. The irony of it is it's a photo that says, when you live in gratitude, it's your way of telling the universe that you're ready for more.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And here you are, you're resonating that. Yes.
Well, that, and it may rub off on other people as well, right? They see that you're, feeling it, and they're like, wow, maybe I should be a little more grateful about the things I have and stop focusing on the things that I don't have, and kind of, I don't know. For me, that's what I struggle with, is because I sense the anger and the pain and stuff a lot. And so I'm like, man, like, how can I make this dude's day a little bit better, right? Like, tell him a bad joke. I don't know.
Send him a love bomb. That sounds wrong. How many times do I say that before, like, we get flagged on Apple?
Okay,
But
you mean because of the beep word, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I know. Even if they flag me, I don't care. I'm like, explain that one, Apple. I said love bomb.
Yeah, it's a different energy, and it's simple. It's nothing complicated. It's in the little simple things that you can start changing little things, and eventually they become bigger and bigger, right? It's like a ripple effect. And also, the moment you start to vibrate higher constantly, all this, how shall we call it, this dark metaphysical stuff, all of a sudden you're no longer interesting.
What are some other dark obstacles in the metaphysical world that we should be mindful of as we kind of journey through? Because I know there are the external factors, but are there like internal things we also want to be mindful of that can kind of perpetuate darkness?
Yeah, your own subconscious, right? Your own shadows, your own dark side. That I don't say we want to get rid of it. It's important, right? Like when, what's his name in this horror movie? Freddy with his, when that guy's in the door, you don't just stay here, zen. You want to get your ass moving and help yourself, right? Defend yourself.
I don't think love bombs will work on him.
Well, you should try first. A few love bombs first. But anyway,
that's all he needed.
Yeah, it's very often it is exactly what they need. They just don't know. But when I do shadow work with people, we first go into their own shadows. Like, what is all hidden? Our subconscious is enormous. Everything is in there. So, like, are there different personas that you are aware of or not that should first looked at and dealt with and transformed or integrated or healed or whatever needs to be done? So yeah, it's your own shadow that is important to look at and see what is the message, or what did I not get, or what did I, sweep under the rug for so many decades, and it's actually a ticking time bomb. And I always say it's like being a spiritual detective. Like I tap into the Akashic records to be able to go into your subconscious to see what's there that is relevant for whatever issues we're looking at. So once we are, we cleaned up the own shadows, and they're whatever life brings along, then tapping out and see what else is in your energy field. Like we have the metaphysical thing that we talked about, but you also have, I once had a case where, yeah, you could call it possessed, maybe. Like she went to a workshop where she was totally emotional and came home and was a different person. She all of a sudden started eating chocolate like it's a meal, right? Not just for enjoying it. And she said, my God, I know I like chocolate, but this is crazy, but I cannot stop. And even made a list to go shopping. So she would direct according to the list, but she went through the door from the grocery store and went straight to the aisle with the chocolates. And she says, it's like something is guiding me. I have no will anymore. That's freaky. And so we found out that during that workshop that she attended, being so emotional, and a workshop has several attendees, and all these attendees have their own whoever is in their energy field. So she had a few coming over into her energy field. So we found out that the one died of hunger. It was an entity, as earthbound spirit, let's call it. And he died of famine. How you say that? Famine. So, and now he is in this body and is like, oh my God, I had never chocolate in my life. How yummy is that stuff? And he kind of guided or made her just, she gained, what did you say? Within 2 weeks, she had like 6 kilos. That's like 12 pounds more, right?
She ate a lot of chocolate.
So that's not to a liking of any woman, right, Ashley?
Not at all.
In so short amount of time. So we made sure that this being went to where he needed to go. And like that, her weight came back and she started eating normal. She ate chocolate still, but in a normal way and with enjoyment, not just throwing it in like, it's like, so she said, oh my God, I'm myself again. I can feel it. I am myself again. So this can also happen.
I feel like I would be so triggered after that. Like, is it me wanting the chocolate? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
No, you can tell the feeling. When you really have no say, when you feel like something else is just making you do it, then I don't want to do it. Why am I eating this? Then it's something else. The varieties are so many as the humans are different, right? So there is no one story that fits everybody. It's unique.
Why is it, do you suppose, that these entities want to attach to us? I mean, it seems like they live on a different dimension and level than us that we can't even fathom, right? Most of us don't even understand the area that they reside in terms of dimension and existence. So what is it about our existence that makes it so appealing to attach to, do you suppose?
Well, one thing is, as a human being, you are for them like a battery, right? They feed off you. That's the one version, or the one, not version, but the one possibility. The other one is unfinished business, karmic stuff, soul contracts. So you kind of attract it. Now you are in this human body. You have no idea what's going on, but you attract it because of stuff you don't know anymore about, right? That's the mean thing about this game called life, that you forget. So, and the other one is, like we talked about, somebody else wants to harm you, which is, of course, not nice. But then the question is also, how is it even possible? So that must be something in you that is ready to receive this black magic stuff. You know what I mean? Because if you are a constant high vibrational being, it's not possible. But who is that? We are all up and down, emotions here and right enough. As women, we have hormones up and down. It's just like, so, and others, they get attacked by certain beings because they do what they do. How shall I say? Like, if you become what they call a light worker and your light shines bright, some do get attacked because of their light shines bright, because they want to prevent to have people being able to put more light into the dark, if you know what I mean. So there's so many possibilities why, and each one is kind of a different level. It's a kind of a different approach.
What would be the benefit of a soul contract for an individual to have those dark entities constantly revealing themselves to these, the individual with the soul contract with that?
Well, at the end of the day, it always comes down to self-development and how shall I say, awareness. The more you become aware, the more you work on your clears, the less you are a victim, the less you are a believer, you become a knower, right? And the more you are aware, the more you know what you could do yourself instead of just running from A to Z and finding somebody to help you, And since we all choose the life we are living, maybe all these things happen because you are supposed to learn something that you're not aware of to fulfill the reason why your soul wanted to reincarnate.
Could it be other people that also is part of the soul contract to send entities your way, or can they, or is that even a possibility for, because there's also, black magic, and there's the, these people that use the metaphysical for nefarious reasons. Is that part of it as well? And does that happen a lot?
It always depends what the soul contract is about, right? So depending what that is about, that's according the things that happen, right? So like some soul contracts that can go in and it's poof, easy peasy done. No big deal anymore. And others, you got to go in and negotiate new rules, right? And sometimes, okay, and it's done. And sometimes it's really back and forth. How can I, kind of save this human out of this deal that they did God knows how many lifetimes ago? And what I also like to do sometimes is doing like a life regression, but also a between life regression. Like you go back, you go through a life, then you go through the portal of death, and you look what happened in between, in this time before went into a body again. And a lot of questions can come out of there as well. Because when I work with people, what I want them to do is to learn how to heal themselves. So they receive their tools. And not from me, though, from spirit. Like when I go into your Akashic records and I don't know what we work on, and they show me, I guide you through a healing journey, and then you receive a healing tool that sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I want that as well. That is so cool. I should take a note. Then I'm like, no, I didn't receive it, so it's not for me. It's for this person. But it's so amazing what these tools can help you with, right? And the more tools you receive, eventually, you're almost like invincible. But it's you the one who has to use them. It doesn't help you to have a whole bag or a basket of tools and not using them, right? So you can become a galactic ninja eventually.
I love that.
I want that.
I want to be a galactic ninja. When you are going through these portals of death, are you seeing it like what happened in that moment, or how do you experience that? How are you experiencing it yourself?
Well, I guide, like if I would do it with you, Ashley, then I guide you through it, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I went through mine, God knows, a million times. No, let's not. Not a million times, but plenty times. And what I find absolutely fascinating is what happens after. It always depends how that life was. It's not that I can say each time this and this happens. It's absolutely not like this. It depends on the biography that was lived in that lifetime, what happens once you go through the death portal. It's amazing. I mean, like, wow. In the beginning, I thought, everybody talks about the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's what I was expecting, right? So I'm like, that's what's happening each time. No, absolutely not.
So is that the life review? Is that what that is?
Which can happen, does not happen all the time. Like I said, it always depends how your life was. What happens afterwards and how long you hang out in the spiritual realms before you incarnate again. And sometimes you incarnate I once saw myself incarnated as a planet. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Why would I want to be a planet? But I was a planet for a while. Things like you know it's not coming from your ego, because I would never choose that, right? I didn't even know that is a thing, you know? So you go in and you go through these experiences, and it's like, what? That's a thing? Amazing. And yeah. So I was amazed that each single time I went through a death portal myself, it was a whole different scenario.
Really makes you believe in Mother Earth, right? Because if you can incarnate as a planet, then who is our planet right now?
Absolutely. And also the concept of time.
I mean, whoever the planet is right now is probably pissed.
Yeah.
They are upset.
Or maybe we're all the planet, because like the concept of time, maybe we're all kind of that and us all at the same time. And either way, they're mad. They're like, what are you doing?
Here, take an earthquake. You piss me off. Get off me.
Just shakes it off.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? You need a little perspective. We're going to shake things up. But
Yeah.
no, it's interesting because, like I said at the beginning, you know, a lot of people hear the new age stuff and the metaphysical stuff, and they really think about only the love and the light aspects, which are important. It's important to have the grounding in love and the grounding in gratitude, but you don't want to walk blindly through, because that's, I think, what leaves you even more susceptible to harsher attacks.
And you can only walk blindly through if you blindly believe anything anybody says, right? That's why I'm like, you have one big lesson in life: work on your intuition, that you really 100% can trust your intuition. That's one big milestone. And also work on one of the clairs, so that you have your own source feeding you, and you do not need to believe what XYZ is saying, because so much stuff out there, honestly, is absolutely BS.
Cults, a lot of cults.
And I feel sorry for whoever falls into that trap, you know. But then I say, okay, karma must have a reason. They needed it for learning curves. I don't know. But yeah.
Do you have any exercise suggestions for people to work on their intuition? Like ways that people can practice working on it and strengthening it?
Yeah, let me think. One thing is, each time your phone rings, before you take your phone, before you even look at it, who could it be? Right? Who could it be? And eventually, the more you do it, the more accurate you become, because you tune in. Or if before you go into your email account, just think, from whom could I have an email today besides the junk stuff that comes in daily? You're just like tuning in, and then see, oh, I'm totally off. But keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. And also the so-called gut feeling. If the gut feeling kicks in, listen to it. I do not know how many times I did not listen. And at the end, I'm like, why? I actually knew it. Why did I not listen to my gut feeling? So after God knows how many times I did not, and you pay the price for it because you kind of knew better, and now you know the consequences. So I thought, okay, no matter how weird that gut feeling is or how strange, whatever, just go with it. Go with it.
I think by listening to your gut feeling, you inadvertently start to also strengthen listening to and asserting boundaries.
Yeah. And if you even have problems with the gut feeling, then just think, okay, I have possibility A and B. Now think of possibility A. How does that feel? Does it feel heavy or light? Think of possibility B. Does it feel heavy or light? You always want to go with the lighter feeling, right? Not with the heavy stuff. And if both feel heavy, then it's not the thing. Then find possibility C, right?
It's not always black and white.
Yeah.
This episode is phenomenal, and I feel like the time just went by so quickly. Do you have any final stories or messages you want to share with us? You're always full of amazing stories, so I don't even know what question to ask, but anything you feel compelled to share.
I have let me think. Is there another story? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. A story to part with. So it is 1991. I am traveling, me and my backpack, we're in South America. And in the meantime, I've been traveling for almost a year already, and I was kind of fed up. I thought, whatever. I don't care anymore. I have had so much information and so much, I need to digest it all. So I decided, okay, I'm going to fly out of Lima to go back home. Until my flight, I thought, oh, let's go down to northern part of Chile. So there I am sitting on a bench, and a lady comes up, an elderly lady, and she just takes my hand and reads out of my hand. And of course, she wanted money for it. Then I thought, okay, I'll give her something. She looks like she can use it. And now she starts kind of, how shall I say, kind of brainwashing me. She says, oh, I have this and this ceremony. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'm not interested. She says, if you don't do it, and this is the amount of money I want for it, you will not see your parents alive anymore. So I'm like, whoa, bitch. Now, here I am, very young, no idea about life, right? I was, I think, just about 20, I think. But my gut feeling kicked in and said, no. And I was like, at that time, my gut feeling wasn't very developed, right? But it felt like I had all the spirits that I didn't know of then, because I didn't know much about these kind of things. But it felt like I was protected in a bubble against this evil person, because she got really mad and she made a whole scene in this thing because she wanted money from me that I wasn't willing to give, because I had a few days left, and this amount of money I still had, I needed for these few days before I was flying back home, right? So she kept up telling horror stories that my parents and my siblings will die, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, in the aftermath, I was like, how was I keeping up so strong against this evil person that I couldn't explain it then? Later, I do have an explanation that just spirit kicked in and was just, I really felt like protected. So of course I went and I don't know if you guys know what a collect call is. I don't think that exists nowadays anymore. But back in the day, this is how I would call home, that parents pay for the call, right? So I called and I said, are you guys okay? Just to be on the safe side. Says, yeah, why? It's all fine. And this experience did stay with me all through all these decades, thinking, wow, if there is somebody who turns evil towards you in whatever form or shape, you have two possibilities. Either you fall in for it and you do whatever they want, just to think a false protection, or you stand your grounds. And while standing your grounds, you're kind of feeding your energy fields as well, right? You come stronger out of that. It might be shaken a little bit because it's a weird happening, but because you did stand your grounds, you come out of it stronger than what you were before. So that was a weird story out of my early adulthood life that I haven't forgotten.
Well, I think that's a super important lesson. And I thank you for sharing that, because there are a lot of people that are waking up into their metaphysical gifts and waking up into the spiritual world that, like you said, they just want to believe. And there are those that will prey on that. They'll prey on that idea that anything's possible. I can hex you. I can hex your parents. I can make these bad things happen. And maybe they can, but only to the point that you allow it. And what I like for all our listeners to remember, if that happens to you, is whoa, bitch. And
I was going to say, yeah, that's my favorite part.
Tap into, like, seriously, whoa, bitch that. And really tap into the fact that at the end of the day, you have your you have spirit to connect to help you really stand firm against that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. And even if you do not know your spiritual team, everybody has one. Just call out, say, I have no idea where you are, how you look like, what's your name, but I need you right now. And they'll come. And
I don't have to call you.
Exactly. Just a thought away.
Just a thought away. Yeah. That's free. Yeah, we are of the generation that we did grow up with the collect call, and some
Right.
of us got in trouble for that.
Really?
Absolutely. So many
Oh,
times.
Because they're like, hey, so and so's collect calling. Do you accept? I'm like, sure. My mom's like, what?
Yeah. What? Or even making them.
Oh,
Mom's like,
gosh.
no, I'm not answering
I'm
that.
not answering that. No, that's
Or they're like, you have a collect call, and you have to be like, John, I'm over here. Help me out. Pick me up real fast.
okay.
Talking real quick.
this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming on again because every conversation with you, like, well, we've had two, but both conversations with you, just they've flown by and you are a delight. And I just lean into every story and every message that you share. And I sound like a goober right now, but I'm filled with gratitude and love bombs.
Yes, yes, yes.
Guys, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming on. Like Ashley said, like you make it fun and interesting at the same time and easy, which is great, and I appreciate that about you. And there's always some kind of something that we can connect with in our lives that can help us out, and that's what you're trying to do for people, right? Is to help them connect in all these ways. And I think it's nice that we have this platform to be able to have people come and listen and then decide for themselves and grow and learn and get some entertainment out of it. And that's the goal, right?
Absolutely.
John?
Yeah. Again, thank you very much. Excuse me. I like how you basically said whoa bitch, and don't forget that you guys, if you have something like that, where somebody's being negative and threatening you in a way, I guess spiritually, magically, don't forget that you got the whoa bitch. Throw that out there.
You can always tap in and utilize your whoa, bitch. Know your boundaries.
Absolutely.
Now, for those that want to learn more about you and work with you, where can they reach you?
My website is soulcompact.com. And on Facebook, you find me under Tamoah Burton. I think I'm pretty much the only person with that name on planet Earth. So those are the two. I am thinking of starting a YouTube channel pretty soon. So we'll see how things go. It's but those two platforms for sure you'll find me.
If you do, let us know. We will absolutely subscribe and share all
Thank
of your
you.
content. So
Yeah, I will.
you've got believers and soon to be knowers. in us.
Wonderful.
All right. Bija Segura, do you want to bring us home?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for joining us, guys. This has been a fun episode, as always. Apologize for the noise on my end, just some technical difficulties location-wise. But
It's a high
anyway,
vibration.
it is. Surrounded, and I'm in an area where there's a lot of good people running around having a good time. So, but anyway, again, thank you for tuning into this episode of 3Haunted Podcast with your host. I'm BJ Segura.
I am Ashley Lunar Goddess.
And I'm John Thomas.
If you have any questions, comments, or episode suggestions, please feel free to email us at 3hauntedpodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, please like, follow, and subscribe to all our social media. You don't want to miss our amazing guests like Tamoah.
Thank you.
Also, don't forget to check out 300podcast.com, where you'll find all of our past and current season episodes, as well as guest information and all kinds of awesome merch.
Until next time.